Vegas. And this AV so nicely sums up business which we are incredibly passionate about. But let's jump straight in. So our journey here to Las Vegas, and just to bring you back, we're a call center which is located in Uitenhage, which is a small industrial town located in the Eastern Cape province of South Africa. We traveled all the way to Vienna, and it's fantastic to be here with all of you today, although it did take us a full 38 hours to get here, but we're not going to dwell on that. So about the Volkswagen Group, we were established in 1946. We're a wholly owned subsidiary of Volkswagen Groups in Germany. We retail 3 brands in our market, namely Audi, Volkswagen, and Volkswagen Commercial Vehicles. At our local production facility, we produce just over 500 vehicles a day for local and export markets. Those export markets include China, Japan, and Australia, to mention but a few. And recently, we've managed to scoop the World Car of the Year award for our Golf 7, which we're incredibly proud of. So a bit more about the CIC. We established in 2004. We currently have just over 80 seats and 113 employees. We deliver services not only to our retail customers, but also to our dealer network. We're multi-channel, which includes social media, and we handle just over 2.2 million contacts per annum. But importantly, we're on an aggressive drive to actually drive profit through our contact center as well. So in terms of the services that we offer, it ranges from things like roadside assistance and customer care to things like dealer services, and as I've just mentioned, we're very active in the world of social media. So aligned with the Volkswagen Group strategy or the vision worldwide, the South African strategy is purely to become the most fascinating automotive group in South Africa, underpinned by 4 specific things. Firstly, being the #1 in customer satisfaction and quality. Secondly, being a top employer. Third, benchmark results. And lastly, being the absolute undisputed market leader in South Africa. Now, the strategy or the vision is underpinned by 8 corporate strategic pillars. Our contact center can actually make an active contribution. The first being the customer pillar. What we're trying to achieve there are delighted customers. Secondly, under the people pillar, we want to be considered the most admired employer in South Africa. And lastly, we want to be an organization with a fantastic leadership culture and filled with brilliant leaders. But I believe to make it real, you actually need to take your corporate vision and translate it in such a way that your contact center understands what it's about. We do this annually by incorporating our corporate vision into our business planning session. There we identify certain goals and things which we'd like to achieve. That's driven down into our balanced scorecard, where we measure things on 4 different business disciplines, and then driven down to the floor by way of KPA contracting. And again, that rolls up. So as our agents and our team leaders begin to achieve these things, rolls up into our balanced scorecard where it's measured and helps us basically achieve the goals which we set out for ourselves. Now, when deciding on your mission and purpose, at the outset, my advice would be to keep it clear and simple, because once it's defined, it essentially guides the way that you do business, and it helps your agents actually focus their efforts in terms of helping you achieving your goals. So as you can see here, ours is very simply to create value for our customers in every interaction that they have with us, regardless of the medium that they decide to use. Now, for us to convert conversations to value, I believe that we need to, any kind of thing which we bring into the contact center needs to address one of our 4 balanced scorecard principles. So for us, financial drivers, resources, customer value, and business processes always need to be in sync and work in harmony. So we can't bring a process into the contact center that results in absolute customer delight, but that comes at a massive price. Nor can we take something out of the contact center to the detriment of the customer and say that somehow we're saving on resources and cost. So hence my comment about these things always being in harmony. Now, we went about a very simple process to actually make this real for our people. We took them into a mass quarterly staff address, and we made it a lot of fun in terms of actually explaining what the purpose was about. We gave them each PVC towel. We painted their hands in nice bright colors. They put their hands on the towel. But the important thing was, on the back of the towel, we asked them, as an individual, what are the 3 commitments and promises that you are going to make, which is going to help us achieve our purpose of converting conversations to value. So the tip here is not only to align your contact center strategy, but it's worthless if you don't interpret it in a way that your agents can identify with and know what it is that you're trying to achieve. Now, understand employee value proposition. What are the basics? You're dealing with Generation Y. What are the things which they expect to be there? But on the right-hand side are things which we believe to be examples of true employee value proposition, the things that make them want to come back on a daily basis. And I'm going to unpack them in a bit more detail. So we've all spoken about staff satisfaction. We all do it. We talk about it. It's the buzzword. But kind of pointless if you don't discuss the results of your survey and take your lowest scores back into action planning workshops with your staff to find out what the things are that you need to improve. So the Volkswagen Group uses a survey which is known as the Opinion Barometer. It's an 11-question survey based on a 5-point rating scale. And for 2012, our score came in just under 84%. And what I've highlighted for you on the screen are 3 bottom scores based on 2012. But what we did is, and while you just glance your eyes over the screen here, we went into action planning workshops. And if you look at this quickly, the thing that will jump out at you is that there's nothing major. There's nothing which is really rocket science, no major strategic moves. And that's the beauty. To get the best results, you often need to look at changing the smallest things because that's where the big results came from. And there's the proof, really. You can see how just by implementing a lot of small things, how actually we saw the yield of the results and saw the increases. Our 2013 scores are in, and we were able to increase that by just over 2%. So the tip here is really to use the feedback. Listen to what your employees are saying, the simple things which they're unhappy about. Those are the things which are going to drive your business improvement. Now, all of our call centers have values, and really my leadership team sits at the core of this. But values are pointless if you don't define a set of behaviors which you want for each of those values. So ours are very simply excellence, respect, and one team. What do we try to achieve, and what is the outcome for each one? Firstly, excellent reputation on a company and personal level. Secondly, we want to build trust relationships between ourselves and between our customers. And lastly, we want to achieve extraordinary results in everything that we do. So the process that I've spoken about and those values are measured by our leaders on a yearly basis, an annual 360 survey, and they are rated by their peers, subordinates, customers. And the results of this survey actually form a very large part or a heavy weighting of their overall performance. And what you can see here from the graph is, as a business, as we've started to invest in our leadership capability, how our staff engagement proved, or scores rather, have improved. Don't get me wrong, it's not all about your leadership capability, but please don't be fooled. A big reason for your agent's decision to leave your contact center has normally a lot to do with the person that they're reporting to. So the tip here really is, take a multi-dimensional view and employee value proposition. Understand the basics. They need to be there, but you are dealing with Generation Y. They want to know what are the value adds and what it is that you're doing about that. So a lot has been said about contact centers that need to have fun, and we need to make it a fun place because it's so stringent. But no business can only be about the people and having fun. So for us, when we have fun, we try to link a business outcome to something specific. So Operation Bootcamp is a good example of that. We noticed a sudden drop in our soft skill scores, and we went ahead with Operation Bootcamp, which was a 6-week program aimed at improving the things we were not good at, things like pace, energy, inflection, rapport. But the important thing is here is that we could actively measure the return on investment. So we could see an increase in our quality scores, in CSI, and most importantly, it freed up our leaders' time to concentrate on critical business issues. Another example of this is in Service to You. It's a contact center manager initiative where as contact center managers, we go out onto the floor and literally be in service to our people. Simple. We serve them hot beverages. We give them something nice to eat. So don't be afraid to have fun with your people. Sometimes by default, that means you've got to be the manager that wears the crazy socks. As a business, we're passionate about training, but for training to be effective, we believe it needs to be fun. So we've implemented the Apprentice board game, and what this is, it's another tool which helps our agents actually participate in training. They gain points for attending training and post-training assessments, very well rewarded at the end of the year. They can win things like iPads and personal computers, and this really just supports our strategy of overall lifelong learning. In terms of unique technology, we've deployed a SAP CRM database which has given us a full 360-degree view of our customer. And this database is housed in our call center. We have all of this information literally with the customer at the center of our organization. So regardless of who the customer decides to make contact with, whether it be us or our dealer network, regardless of the channel that they use, we are looking at the same information. And this for us has become a critical tool which helps us convert conversations to value. Another thing which we've done is we've segmented our database to better understand the unique needs of our customers. What are they about? So for this customer, we could see that if she were to phone in on her birthday, our agents would actually receive a flashing message on the screen to actually acknowledge that. We can see that this customer is a doctor, so she's opted only to be contacted via SMS and email. Don't phone her, it's not going to work. And lastly, and most importantly, this customer has a mobility guarantee in place with one thing. She can only drive a vehicle with an automatic transmission, so don't waste her time by sending her something which she cannot drive. Make it easy for your customers to do business with you. Reduce customer effort. So we've introduced the Volkswagen Service app, which gives our customers access to a host of functionality using their mobile phones. Probably one of the most important is the roadside assistance app. So in the event where the customer has an emergency situation, the app actually allows them to phone the contact center. By the time we answer that call, we actually have the location of the customer on our GPS system. Saves valuable time in terms of being able to locate that customer in an emergency situation. More functionality is a warning symbols app, gives the customer an indication of what the typical dashboard warning symbols are and what they mean. A fully GPS-enabled dealer locator, so if you like to locate your closest dealer, actually takes you through to Google Maps and gives you directions. And then lastly, we've just had a bit of fun with it as well. A nice little nifty parking locator for those of you who have the unfortunate habit like me of parking your car and you forget where that is. So in terms of technology, deploy technology that makes it easy for your customers to do business with you. Always keep that in mind. I've always been asked, how do we define success in our contact center? There's so many things, but I believe that there are 6 main things which I'd like to concentrate on. And this is our critical success factors. Firstly, satisfied staff. You can't begin to have satisfied customers if you don't have satisfied staff. Secondly, you need to have a strong leadership team. Remember, I said that these are the people that drive the culture and the behavior in your organization. You need to be a business that is compliant with your own business processes and audit requirements. You need robust systems that are available 99% plus of the time. Otherwise, you can't achieve that. As I've said, customer satisfaction. But the key thing here is to do all of that and still be a business that manages to do it in a cost-effective way. So in terms of future plans, before we consider any future plan in our contact center, we would like it to address one of our 4 business our business plan initiatives, and that's either it should improve the efficiency of our resources in the contact center, it should automate an existing process which is manual, it must reduce customer effort and make it a pleasure for them to deal with you, or it must improve the financial performance of your contact center, so at least one of 2. So the tip here is to go back to your business plan and reference the things which you're not good at and the weaknesses and the opportunities which you've missed in terms of bringing new business in. So lastly, tip summary, don't only align your contact center strategy, but make it real, make your people understand it. Work with the feedback, small things, big changes. Take a multi-dimensional view on EVP. What are the basics? What do they expect? But what are the things that make them come back? Deploy technology that makes it a pleasure for your customers to deal with you. And lastly, consult your business plan. What are the weaknesses and what are the opportunities that you have missed in terms of bringing new business into the contact center? So thank you from my side. Thank you so much for giving me 15 minutes of your valuable time today. Enjoy Vegas and see you on Friday evening.